Hello and welcome. If you can hear me, just type yes in the chat box. You will stay mute through the session. Thank you, Sven, and thank you, Steven. We'll wait 1 more minute so that everyone can join. यश को बोलो YouTube पे देख ले एक बार. Hello and welcome to this Ask Me Anything session that we have in the month of September. So thank you so much for joining. You have your mic on mute now. Yes, it was on mute as I was talking to my team. So if you can hear me well, just confirm me. I think I'm audible from what I... Yes, thank you. Thank you, Steven. So thank you so much for joining this session and let's get started. This is the Ask Me Anything session wherein we will answer your questions that you have on data privacy. If you can see my screen, just let me know. So I believe you are here and you have questions. So just type yes if you have questions. The idea is to make it engaging so that we can interact, and also you are muted, but still we want to interact through chat. So please keep typing. So if you have questions, you are at the right place, and some of you have sent those questions, so which is a good idea. So thank you for your trust. I appreciate that you take time on a Saturday evening and are here to spend an hour and a half of your time with me and learn about privacy. Really appreciate that trust, really appreciate that confidence. So the objective of the session today is to provide you with answers to your questions and get clarity on furthering your privacy career. So we will focus on few different things. Of course, we will answer questions. That's the primary objective, but we will make it more exciting for everyone else. This is the introduction that we are having now. Then we will have your questions answered. That is the questions which I have received already. Some of you have been kind enough to send the questions, so that is a good thing. So I will answer them first. Then I will share with you an opportunity to enhance your career so that it's a win-win. You get an opportunity to grow your career. And then we'll have a lucky draw wherein someone will get a coupon worth 300 euros. That is, I'll tell you what it is worth in a little bit. Then some more questions will be answered. In the second part, the questions would be more related to the fact that we will have live questions on this chat. You will put the questions and I will answer them. We will do maximum questions as much as possible. And towards end of the session, that is in about 1 hour, 27 minutes from now, we will have the lucky draw too. So you'll have, if you stay through the session, you'll have 2 chances to win a gift, win a prize 2 times. So to make this session effective and cordial, there are a few things I wanted to share with you. Please put your device on mute. You can share your opinions and questions in the chat. That's better. That's more relevant way of doing it for this session. If you have a question, write it in the chat. Need be, we will ask you to unmute and speak if the question needs a little bit more clarification. And if there are multiple questions, I will give priority to person who has not asked a question. And everyone who is here gets a reward that is exclusive. And please respect everyone and be polite and courteous. So use prudent language in the chat. If that's clear, let's get started. And before we start, let me introduce myself for those of you who do not know me. I'm Punit Bhatia. I help people with GDPR compliance and I make it simple and manageable. I think there's someone waiting to be admitted. No, okay. Sorry for that. Yeah, so I help people in making GDPR compliance simple and manageable. And I've written 3 privacy books. I worked in Fortune 500 companies, and I had the good fortune of being a global privacy manager, privacy and protection officer, and so on. And I am certified from IIPP in fellow in information privacy. Just somebody wanted to join, so let's get them in. Yeah. And I also have a Fit for Privacy podcast. So I don't tell you all this to impress you, but I tell you all this to share that your next 90 minutes would be worth it, and I will do my best to give you the best in terms of my knowledge to you in next 90 minutes. So these are the 2 books if you want to get a copy of. They're available on Amazon. And now just type in the chat, which category do you fit in? Category 1 being I don't know. That is, I think I want to start a privacy career, but I don't have privacy experience. 2, I know a little bit, but I'm not sure and I have questions. And 3, I know it, but I like to have another person's perspective. So type 1, 2, or 3 in the chat so that I can calibrate what is the level of our audience, and then I will answer the questions accordingly so that it remains relevant for everyone. 3, that's good. Sven. 3, Steven. So the question is, as on the slide, 2, Vaishali. So that's good. So a mix of 3 and 2, that's always good. Because if we have ones, then we need to be using a little bit more simpler language. But anyhow, wherever I work with, people tell me that I use simple language. While it says it's 1, so that means we will need to balance out the language and everything. Anyhow, don't get scared. I use simple and pragmatic language, and that's some people telling about my books. Somebody bought 5 books, and somebody said it's a hands-on, essential, and comprehensive. So answering some of the questions I received. So these are some of the questions I received, and I try to use some generic slides to answer all these questions and then come back to questions and answer the remaining questions. For everyone else, if you turn off your video, it'll save the bandwidth, and mute yourself so that you can hear everything, but if needed, we will ask you to unmute it. Let me see if I can. Okay, so there's Beth saying 2. So there's a right mix, 1, 2, and 3, all categories. Okay, so let's start with the questions. So first and foremost, people think that it's all about DPO. DPO is one career option. There are many career options. You have privacy consultant, privacy analyst, privacy researcher, privacy program manager, project manager, and privacy officer, privacy auditor, privacy expert, DPO, global DPO, group DPO, and global privacy manager, and also a CPO. So don't limit your thinking. Don't limit yourself to that it's only DPO as a privacy career. There are many career options. And a DPO role requires competence in many skills. So you need to, of course, know the law. You need to be legally well versed. You need to understand the business dimension so that you can engage, you can interact with business and understand their challenges. You need to understand technology so that you are able to advise on technology matters and understand what the challenge is. You need to be comprehensively comfortable with risk management and also with, I think, again, someone wants to join. No. Okay. So, and you need to be comfortable with compliance management. With so many people, you need to be very good and very comfortable with stakeholder management, and you need to have excellent communication skills because you will manage regulators, internal, external, customers, and everybody. And that's the role of a DPO or a privacy role. So these are the skills that, or these are the competencies that are required in a DPO role. And then the question that I've been asked, from where should I obtain my DPO certification? So DPO certification, you can get from IIPP, you can get from a university. It really depends what you want to achieve and where you want to apply. And in those companies or that region, what is most prevalent? IIPP is one of the most commonly accepted certifications. And in IIPP, if you do CIPP and CIPM, you have more or less a DPO certification, because then you also get a FIP, that is fellow in information privacy. So then the question is, what additional certification do I need to get an opportunity to work as a DPO? Yeah, if you get CIPP and CIPM, CIPP in Europe or in Asia or in US, based on wherever you are going to work, then that will be enough, that will be sufficient. And want to make my career in the field relating to data security. So I cannot advise you on data security, but on data privacy, I think if you do certifications and studies and get some experience, then you have a good chance of making a career in privacy. You need a teacher to guide you, to show you the path, but cannot afford it. Well, that becomes a little bit challenging, no? You yourself have answered it, it seems. So how to organize this study? I think exam like CIPP, CIPM, or CIPT needs about 30 to 40 hours minimum of study. And you need to do reading of the law, reading of the subject material relating to the law and the course, and then practice the exam. What are the changes from 1st of September? So yes, that's a good question. From September 1, the CIPP and CIPM have been revised. So in the new structure, it's basically rejig of different sections of the exam. So the content remains same, but if I look at CIPM, there are 6 sections. It's about developing a privacy program, which has about 13 to 17 questions, then privacy program framework, which has 9 to 11 questions, privacy operational life cycle, that is assessments, 13 to 17 questions, which is a big section, and then operational life cycle, that is protection of privacy, about 12 to 16 questions, and also the operational life cycle, that is sustain, 5 to 7 questions, and the operational life cycle, that is respond, you have 9 to 11 questions. So all in all, these are the 6 sections. And there was also a question on CIPPE. I think that's coming up. So yeah, the questions from 6 domains I've discussed. What will be the required mark for each domain? I'm not aware that there are marks per domain, but you have to make sure that you have an aggregated percentage, but I can check for you and get back to you. I was advised that the exam scope and material is changing. Yes, it is. Exam scope and content is changing, but the study you have to do is the same. They have not revised the books, they've not revised the training, they've only revised the exam and the structure of it. I have not noticed. Yeah, there's no new study material for now. Is it necessary to know the technical part to perform a successful compliance of GDPR? You don't need to know technical, because if you see a slide back, there are multiple skills that needed. So the good thing is you need to be aware of, you need to be comfortable about all the skills, but you don't need to be an expert of everything. If you understand technology and can advise people on technology, that's good enough. So you need to be an expert on one thing, like you're an expert in technology, you understand legal and business and other things, that's good enough. You understand legal and you can do other things, that's good enough. So that's how it works. So you don't have to be an expert in technical unless you want to become a technical specialist, like you want to be a privacy by design specialist. What are the key skills that should be? I think we've covered that. I'm not having any certifications. How to get an opportunity to work as a DPO? That's a good question. So you can work as a DPO if you have experience, if you have certification, or if you have both. And if you don't have experience, my suggestion is to start with a role like privacy analyst, get in, learn about privacy, and then over time get into a role like DPO. Is my knowledge about data protection and GDPR compliance enough to get an opportunity? Well, is it enough or not? It always depends on the role that you are applying for and the level of knowledge you have. If you have practical knowledge, you have done it in the past, and you have practical experience, that is good enough. But if you have only read it, usually that is not good enough to become a DPO. How does data protection and privacy compliance actually work? Steps and procedures with example. Well, you want the full CIPM in 1 hour. Anyhow, in short, what you need to do is you need to set up a policy, then make assessment on the policy, implement the gaps, meaning close the gaps, run a project to implement each of the gaps, and then review the situation. That's in nutshell 3-step approach. That is, create a policy, assess the situation, and then take action on whatever you've discovered. That's what I would recommend. And now that we've gone through the questions that we have, in short, what I'm saying is you do not need to be coming from any specific background, IT, law, but you need to understand different dimensions, different aspects. You can choose any training program that provides concepts, practical knowledge, and clarifies your doubts. So what I mean by that is typically you will have a in-person training, which would mean you go there. At that time, you're still getting used to the concept. And when you come back and study for the exam, you generally have a challenge. You generally have a challenge saying, now what do I do? Because there's nobody to answer your questions. And if you go for an online virtual course, there's nobody to answer you. You just go through the videos and then you're left on your own. So both approaches are not good enough. And even if you do an in-person classroom study, at that time you're still learning, and afterwards is when you need help. So you need to find a solution in which you have help at the start and help during the preparation of your exam. Certifications or degrees help, but you will also need the ability to execute. You have help, you have multiple career choices. Make your choices from a long-term perspective and consult a coach if necessary. What I mean by this is don't look at DPO as the only option, because if you don't have experience, just have read the law and passed an exam, it'll be difficult to execute even if you are made a DPO. So that you need to be aware of. And you can always hire a coach during the learning phase or during, even if you get a job, to help you once in a while with your questions and everything. And if you are a DPO already and you need help, that you can also ask your employer to help you pay that. And start from where you are, add skills and become relevant. Invest in your career and take help from others. So don't wait, start now. That would be my suggestion. So from now on, let's see who has more questions. So these were some of the questions that we received. If amongst these questions, somebody believes any of the question is not fully clear, please indicate and I will answer that. So now you can ask your questions here. Am I still audible? Okay, yes, that's a good sign. So now, if you have questions, you can ask me. Good. I'm glad to hear that I'm audible. First question, are you comfortable? All the people who ask questions, are those questions answered? If there's something that is still not clear, I'm happy to help. Because even in in-person calls or group calls that I do, it does happen sometimes that I think it's answered and the other person needs a little bit more help. So if you have, please type in your questions. Let me see if there were any questions before typed in. Okay, there's one. After this comes to decision, is the exam for CIPP and CIPM going to be amended for the way to be answered? If the question is it going to be amended? The answer is yes. If the question is, has it been amended? The answer is no. So from what I understand is they're still working on adjusting the questions relating to Privacy Shield and SCRMS 2 decision. I am in IT and haven't been able to upgrade myself. There I'm beginning to get more inclined towards privacy. Would you suggest a course for me, please? Yes, if you are in IT and you want to learn about privacy, then the best course would be CIPT certification. And the course that I offer is a Privacy Masterclass for Technologists, because it's meant for technology people, those who understand IT, and it brings in privacy and technology as a hybrid approach. So privacy person understanding technology and technology person understanding privacy and learning about privacy engineering and the challenges of technology in enabling privacy and also using privacy enhancing technologies. So if you want to do that, or privacy professional masterclass for technologists from me and then appear for the exam. Or else what you can do is, if you really want to just learn about privacy, I would suggest you go for privacy professional masterclass. In that you learn about privacy and the law, but then it's not going to leverage on your technology skills. And if you want to become a manager in privacy, then the best one will be privacy masterclass for manager, or the CIPM certification, which allows you to understand privacy good enough to manage it. So whether we talk about a DPO, the DPO has to manage it and understand it and be an expert in privacy. That's why for a DPO, you need to have the CIPP and CIPM certifications. Okay, Sven says, I currently have a LLB degree. That's good, but wish to head across to UK, data privacy in UK. I'm currently busy with CIPPE. Wish to write in about a month's time. That's a good idea. Thereafter, tackle the CIPM by December. Very good idea. What sort of approach should I look to getting career in data privacy? Since you are already a law professional and you are going to be doing CIPPE and CIPM, I think you can look for privacy analyst, privacy manager roles, wherein the DPO responsibility is still with someone else and you're asked to take care of some task and get into the job. Or you can also look for legal roles with knowledge of privacy. So you'll leverage on your LLB, and if you have experience in that, and rely on your privacy knowledge that you will gain. And it's a good idea to do CIPPE and CIPM. And if you can do it by December, that's really great. Budget in about 30 to 40 hours per course for that. Any more questions? Thanks, Sven. I'm glad it helps. We have Vaishali. Vaishali, you had a lot of questions. Are you comfortable now with the answers? Do you need more help? Oh, that's great. Let me see who all are in the call. Steven, Beth, Vaishali, Walid, Sham, Namita, Chetan. So if any one of you has questions, please do ask. It's not a problem. We do have time, and that's the objective of it. Walid, you answered my question. That's Chetan, one more question. Am I on my own during the course or you have assistance? That's a good question. So the way I offer is, as I was talking about the challenge between you doing a course and then being left alone, the way I operate is, when you are subscribed to my course, generally I allow for 4 group calls. So group calls like this, in which you learn from others and learn also based on the questions you have. So what happens is, you do the videos, the online course in silo, that is at your comfort, but every week you come in to the call and we answer your questions. So it's an assisted learning that I propose, I offer. I have another question. Is there any practice exams available, or is it best to just study material and write the exams? That's a very interesting question. Now, if there are practice exams available, the short answer is yes. So even from IIPP, there are practice exams. Of course, they are not full-fledged like all the 90 or 100 questions or 80 questions. And even in the courses I have, at the end, there is a practice test and an exam. So I usually have 2 quizzes, which are about 20 questions each. And then I have a practice exam about 40 to 50 questions or simulated, and then a final exam, which is exactly 100 questions. And you get to practice those things. And then you can benchmark baseline if you're ready for the certification exam or not. Maybe one, is the CIPM exam as detailed as CIPPE or less? That's a very smart question. So let's maybe understand the difference between the 3 courses. So CIPP is somebody who knows the law inside out. He's a professional in the law. So if I have a question like, I have a data subject request, what do I have to do when do I have to answer? That's why you will do a CIPPE. But if you need to manage privacy, that is, run a privacy program across the company and manage it and operationalize it and run it after that, that's when CIPM comes. So CIPP is generally about the what, and CIPM is more about the how. So you do need the privacy knowledge for CIPM, but the privacy knowledge is a little bit less. If we take an example of individual rights, so a CIPP would know when a request is to be answered, how many days to answer that request, and how long do we have, what do we need to write in that reply, and if the reply is ready or not. So that's what a CIPP would do. But CIPM would not be concerned, or would be less concerned about the number of days. He'll count on the CIPP professional, but he would be worried about or concerned about setting in a process in which the individual rights requests are getting answered. So his focus and philosophy would be, okay, these are the 7 rights. I need a process. These need to be answered in a definite period, which he will ask the CIPP. So it's more about the how. And then when you have to understand that intersection with technology, that's the CIPT. I hope it makes sense. So the detail or the knowledge is very different. So what you will learn in CIPP would be less relevant in CIPM. CIPM is about, I think I had my notes here in the other one. So CIPM is more about developing a privacy program. That is, how do you create a company vision? How do you establish data governance? How do you establish a program and structure a privacy team? And then privacy program framework. That is, how do you develop a privacy program framework, implement it, and develop relevant metrics to measure the progress of that privacy program. Then about assessments, that is, conducting data inventory assessments, physical assessments, vendor assessments, merger and acquisition assessments, privacy impact assessment, that is data protection impact assessments, and even doing a record of processing activity. So that's how it is. I see Chetan and Vaishali have a question, but I will answer first Sven's question properly, and then I'll come to you, and I will certainly help you. And then, so that's about assessment. Then it's about protection. Protection is information security practices, privacy by design, privacy requirements, and organizational measures. And then it's about sustenance of that program. So that is, you monitor and audit what's going on, and finally responding to the data subject requests and data breaches as they happen. So that's how the CIPM is structured. But if you look at the CIPPE, it's more about how is the European data protection law structured? What is the legislative structure? How are the institutions structured? What are the data protection concepts? What are the data processing principles? What are the data processing criteria? And what are the data subject rights, and what are the rules around them? What are the security measures, accountability measures, and data transfer rules around that? So it's much more hands-on and in-depth into the law. And in CIPP, you can pass through even if you have read the law. But in CIPM, you need to know the methodology that IIPP is talking about. And then also in CIPP, you need to know about practical implications or practical applications of the law. I hope, Steven, it was clear. Okay, there's another question meantime. Okay, great, Steven, happy to help. What is Chetan saying? I will be honest, I have been referred your name by a friend. Thank you. I thank the friend as well. He thinks very high about you. Oh, even more appreciated. Now you're putting me on a okay. Would you be able to offer training at corporate level as well? Yes, I do offer corporate trainings. I'm thinking of to have a chat. Yes, please. If you have anything like that, please contact me at engage@punitbhatia.com, and we can take it further. Thanks, Chetan. Vaishali, I would like to take a course from you. Kindly let me know the little more about it. We'll come to that, Vaishali, just in a minute. Let's first make sure that all the relevant questions are answered. And if you have questions, please do raise them as well. I'll come to that in the... Any more questions? How can I get your course? Okay, that's a good question. That's very similar to what Vaishali said, Walid. Okay. So I think we will move to the part three. So I have answered the questions that were sent before. We've looked at some of the questions you have asked here. And now let's move to how can we work together to help your career together and move forward. So let me share with you how it works. If you are okay and if you feel that's the right time. Okay. So the next thing is I always look at helping people to get more and share my knowledge on privacy. So that's when I think my understanding is that people need a course which is no legal jargon. Like they don't like to hear Article 30 is data inventory. They like to know what is data inventory and what is to be done. People like a practitioner approach, that is somebody who has done it and who can give them practical advice, practical inputs. And then people also like scenario based inputs, that is relating to daily life, daily job, and also like to have a practice and exam. Like I think Stephen or Sven had a question that how can we practice, because practice is very important, because exam I think costs about $500 plus, and if you don't do well you have to pay it again. So it's better to practice and be certain. And I believe in the days that we are in pandemic, you need an online approach to study so that you can study from your home and in comfort of your home. You also need it available when you start and when you want to do it, day, morning, evening, whenever, or weekend. And it should be repeatable. That is, you should be able to repeat things as you need them. So by repeating things, I mean sometimes you're not clear on a concept. So you don't need to go through the whole course. You just go through that. Like if it's an online course, it's a 5-minute video and you repeat it. And you practice to gain confidence and you're supported in that learning journey along with the course. Do you agree that these are the needs that you have? Because I just kind of judged based on your feedback. Thanks, Walid. So if these are the needs. Thanks, Vaishali and Chetan. Thanks, Sven. Sounds correct. So, with that in mind, what I have done is I have worked together to create Fit for Privacy online courses. So, Fit for Privacy is also my podcast, and we created Fit for Privacy online courses. So, the question was, how can you access it? You go to courses.punitbhatia.com. Don't go now, you can go later, and I'll give you a better deal, better offer. So you go there and you'll find courses for individuals. There are 3 individual courses: Elite Privacy Manager Masterclass, which is equivalent for CIPM, Elite Privacy Professional Masterclass, which is equivalent for CIPP, and Elite Privacy Technologist Masterclass, which is equivalent for CIPT. So if you subscribe to them, you get 3 months access to 3 months access to all the videos. A typical course would have between 7 and 12 hours of videos, which is equivalent of 2 days of study. Because when you are in a in-person course, you have around 4 to 5 hours of study and rest, the breaks and everything, and the question answer. So you have that over 2 days, and I suggest it's split into modules and you do one module at a time, and that's how the course is structured. So all these courses are online and you do it at your leisure, and they have practice quizzes and exams at the end so that you rehearse. And it has something like 50 to 70 videos in that, and usually videos are between 2 minutes to 10 or 12 minutes, sometimes they are longer also, so that you cover one topic condensed, and if you don't get it you repeat it, and then you move to the next, and then you move to the next. So all that detail is available on courses.punitbhatia.com, just to answer the question of Walid. And then when I share this with Brian Tracy, who's the CEO of Brian Tracy International, he said, I provide expert advice on pragmatic actions that a company needs, and I have unique ability to simplify complex and legal topics. And I have a eagle's eye, and that's what I leverage on, that's what I rely on to give you a perspective in these courses. So if you want an opportunity to grow your career, what I can offer you is, see, it has to be a win-win for you and for me. So what I can do is, if you agree to give me a reference and you decide now, I can offer you an exclusive deal, exclusive price. So there's these three courses: the technologist, the professional, and the manager. And a course costs euro 397. That's the website price. So if you go there and check, that will be the price, and that's what I'm intending to sell it. I have not launched this website because I'm at the moment collecting references, collecting feedback. So I'm looking at students who are eager, enthusiastic, willing to learn, want to grow their career, and along with it, they want to learn and grow with somebody who has done it in a practical and pragmatic manner. So what I do is I want to offer this to you so that you give me a reference, you learn, and you have any updates that we will make in 12 weeks, we will also share with you. And then to allow you to give me that feedback, clarify your doubts and questions, and get ready for being effective in your job or certification, I allow you 4 calls, which are priced at euro 197. So 4 calls means a call happens every Friday, I think at 5 or 5:30 p.m. Local time, so almost this time on a Friday. And then you have the choice to join any 4 calls. So I'll give you an agenda of 8 weeks and you can pick any 4 calls. And that's for 197 euro. And unlimited updates to these courses for 12 weeks. So any changes you suggest, like this topic is not good enough, I think this should be more, or I gave this exam and I believe this part of the lecture or this part of the module should be beefed up. So I will make those, and all those updates in the 12-week period would be given to you at no extra cost. So that's priceless. And if we combine that, that's a value of euro 594, which is, I believe, less than half of what you get in the market from other players. So anyone else you go to and ask to buy that kind of a deal, first, they don't give you these calls, they only give you a course. They don't give you updates, and they will charge you something like 1100 or 1200 euros. And if you combine it with the exam as well, and there's no practice exam. But what I can do is I can give you the calls for free. I can give you the updates for free. And not only that, I can give you a huge discount of 70% on the price. So what is available for 397, if you enroll today, I can give it to you for $119 euros and 10 cents. So I believe this is a win-win, but as I said, it is if and only if you agree to take it today, that is in next 48 hours, and you agree to give me a reference and feedback of the course. Because it's not for everybody, it's for people who want to learn, who are enthusiastic to learn, and who want to learn from practitioner rather than from theoretical people. So in 119 euros, I'm giving you a value which is more than 10 times you will need to pay with anyone else in the market. And I'm doing it. So how can you avail it? So everyone who's joined here today will get a email in next 2 hours. If you join and don't get an email, email me and my team at engage@punitbhatia.com. And this email will contain the summary of the offer, as I explained to you, the exclusive offer code, because you will need a code with which you get 70% and then you pay 30% with your credit card, and instructions to enroll. But the thing is, it's only applicable, only available for 48 hours. I mean, just to highlight you what people think about it. So somebody read my book, Intro to GDPR. He said, just finished reading your book. It was so clear, it was clear, comprehensive, and useful. I enjoyed the read. Thanks for creating such a useful resource. So people who buy my products, they're usually happy and they're satisfied. So in short, I'm offering you a 70% course discount, 4 group calls, and updates for 12 weeks at a 70% off and a bundle deal if you subscribe in next 48 hours. Does it make sense? Do you have any questions on this? Thanks, Fen. Thanks, Walid. Thanks, Vaishali. And thanks, Beth. Can I get a friend also? Well, you need to work for things. So that's why if you join the Ask Me Anything session, thanks, Chetan. And if you join the Ask Me Anything session, you've participated here. I think the offer is for you only, not for everyone else. So it's not for the friend, unfortunately. But maybe in the next Ask Me Anything session that we will do. But I can promise you the same discounts will not be repeated, because by then we would have launched the website and we would be normally very near to the full price. So this is an exclusive that I'm doing this time. So if you are okay, you will receive these things. Do you have any questions about this or any other questions? No. Okay. So if you don't have questions, I think it's time for a referral draw. Oh, okay. If I buy today and interested in more courses, that's a good question. If you are interested in more courses, then email me and we can think about it. But as I said, it's Vishali also. As I said, the intention is to have a couple of people per course and then have some references, have some feedback, and the courses are tested. So you get the course at a very reasonable or very economical price. I get the feedback, I get the reference, and then it's a win-win for you and us, because otherwise you will need to pay thousands of euros and I will but then there's less interaction. So we interact, you give me feedback, and that's how it will work. So if you need a second course, I think we will need to discuss. I don't think I can give you 70%, but we can think about it. So send me an email at engage@punitbhatia.com and we will work out something. So then, if you don't have questions, I had promised you, thank you, Walid. Uh, I had promised you that I will offer a free gift. So normally, when I work with people, especially on the higher end, so higher end meaning personalized coaching or private coaching, this goes into thousands of euros, and then we have 6 or 7 half-an-hour calls, and then I guide them on their privacy career, strategizing it and how to approach their privacy career. Or sometimes if you're a DPO and you are new to the job, what happens is you need that comfort factor of asking somebody who's done it. So you're new in the job, but you hire me as a coach and consult me in parallel, and that's how I do it. Not sure if you get notifications of your book purchases. If you get one, okay, thank you so much, Chetan. I do get reports on a monthly basis. When I published the book, I was checking daily, but nowadays I do it monthly. So I'm not aware if it's sold on Wednesday. But thanks. I'm grateful to you that you bought the book. Uh, yeah, so I was saying, so some people who become a DPO and don't have as much confidence or experience, they hire as a coach, and then I advise them on a weekly basis and their challenges are resolved. So that's also something I do. But in that context, sometimes people do with me is a 30 minutes career strategy call. So strategy for their career, what they should do, how they should do, which courses they should do, because sometimes people are confused around that. So what I offer you here today is an opportunity to win a chance to one of those calls. So this call would be free. I will just do a lucky draw, and whosoever's name comes, I mean, just for your info, I have this bowl, and in this there are some people's, I mean, it's not some people, everyone who's here, their name, and then I will offer you a free call. Are you up for it? Yes, so let's have a look. So everyone is interested. So let me do it fairly and transparently. And I pick, oops, it's two. So let's see which one dropped. So I don't know who it is, but let me see who wins this. Somebody said it sounds great, and that's Steven Segart, and that's his name. Sorry, Chetan, it's not you, but it's Steven Segart, in all transparency. So Steven, congratulations. I mean, sometimes people say, I don't need it. If you don't need it, we can choose another person. But I see you're already happy and I'm glad for you. So you will get a call. I will send you an email or we will send you an email over the weekend on instructions on how to avail this call. And then you will get this call, which is worth 300 euros with me. And we will discuss your privacy career and how to make it step by step. I mean, I had a call with the girl last week or I think maybe 2 weeks back. And then she was like everywhere, like, I'm in this job. I don't know if I should stay here, not stay here. And then after a while, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, there's confusion. Is it Sven or Stevan? I think it's Stevan. Let me check. It's Stevan Sagat. So just in case there's a confusion, so let me write it because we also have Sven and we also have Stevan. So it can be confusing. So it's career strategy call. Yeah. Okay, so I was saying the girl had a confusion and she was all over the place. But we had this call, and after 30 minutes, she was like, I know what I have to do next 3 years, which certifications I have to do, and how I have to grow my privacy career, and this is where I will be. So that's how it works. And maybe Steven, it's Sven, I don't know. The only thing is, since your name is out, you would not be the next. So, Steven, congratulations, and you'll get the details. If you have any questions, you can ask now also. Anyone else has any questions? Because we are running a little bit ahead of time. Normally, people have a lot of questions. No questions. That's always a good sign. So, in that case, if there are no questions, would you agree that we do the second referral draw and then no questions today? I will have more questions on content based. Yes, then in the group calls, you will have questions. So in that case, would you agree that we do the second referral draw and close this call? Would it be possible to direct exam? What do you mean, Vaishali? I didn't get it. Maybe we need to unmute you and hear you out. I'm not clear. By doing direct self-study, I mean, you can always, yeah, Vaishali. Hello? I can't hear you, Vaishali. So you need to type in. No, Vaishali, I don't hear you. Vishali, I don't hear you, but what we will do is you're saying, if I understand, that you want to do the exam by self study. That's possible. People do it, but you should find some guidance online or whichever way. Yes, you can clear certification exam by self study. It's a little bit harder, like any other thing. I mean, it's like self schooling and going to a school. That's the difference. Just one. Do you still offer the special fast track advice for projects? I know this will offer reveal our common friend. We are in phase where, yeah, Brexit is a separate question. I mean, I don't know what you mean by fast track advice because I do offer advice, but I don't know what is fast track advice. I mean, if you mean a few days a week or something like that, a few hours a week, I do that. But let's look into it. Send me an email and then we'll take it on from there. So would it be okay for everyone, as there are no more questions coming, that we close this call and I do the second raffle draw? Okay, Walid says yes, Chetan says yes, Sven says. Okay, let's have a look. I pick another one. You know what? This Sven and Steven seem to be having something together. Steven said Sven will be the next, and it is Sven who's the next. So Sven, congratulations. You have also a call with me, 30 minutes call for your privacy career or any other privacy question that you want to ask. So Sven and Steven, let me make a note. You'll get separate emails over the weekend, but everyone else will get the offer. What is it? Career strategy call. A second. So you both have the opportunity. Congratulations so much, and I'm so happy for you that you have this opportunity. Normally people who have one call, they buy a pack of 6 or 10, but not to say that encourage you to buy more, but encourage you to say it's worth it, and people are always happy about it, and I'm confident that we will make it good for you. So if there are no more questions, I would say let's call it time. You'll get the emails in coming hours. I think in about 2 hours my team has to make notes of who has joined, who hasn't joined, and then send you the offers, and you will have 48 hours. If you have any questions, any doubts, any confusion, you can always email us at engage@punitbhatia.com, and we will do our best to help you, to answer you. And to Sven and Steven, congratulations once more, and I look forward to working with you and doing those calls with you to guide you on your privacy career. And everyone else who's interested, I look forward to working with you and staying in touch with you. So thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate your trust and confidence. So thank you so much, guys.